would like to speak a long time about everyone, but I want to give all of them a chance to speak. Chandramauli Maharaj has been such a dear friend and well-wisher to all of our devotees here in India for many years. He came to Krishna consciousness in around 1972-73. New Vrindavan performed quite severe austerities in a spirit of total submission and dedication, and has been traveling all over the world, transforming people's hearts with his preaching, his kirtans, and his very extraordinary dancing. From the 34 years that I've known him, I can honestly say he's such a sincere devotee, free of envy, very humble, absolutely dedicated to Srila Prabhupada and Lord Krishna. And we are so grateful you are here today, Maharaj. Let us very tumultuously welcome him. We have His Grace Soma Prabhu, who came to Krishna consciousness in about 1971. And he came to Krishna consciousness in Boston under the leadership then of His Holiness Satsvarup Goswami Maharaj. And I remember the first time I saw him. He came to New Vrindavan, and one devotee from Boston ran up to me and said, "Do you know who that is?" He said, "That is a very advanced devotee, very serious, an excellent mridanga player. His name is Soma Prabhu, Somadas Prabhu." And we have known each other for about 34 years. Such a hard worker, such a serious devotee, absolutely dedicated to Srila Prabhupada and Lord Krishna. In fact, how many of you have seen the deity of Lord Narasimhadev at New Vrindavan? Please say Hari Bol if you have seen a photo or seen him in person. You probably have seen him because he's everywhere, but you just don't know where he is. But Soma Prabhu is the mother and father of Lord Narasimhadev, because he personally carved him and was made into a deity. And also Sitaram, Lakshman, Hanuman, and Jai and Vijay, and an elephant, and cow and calf, yes? And many other things. He was one of the founding builders of New Vrindavan. Prabhupada's palace, he and another devotee, Gosta Bihari, were the first people to actually lay the blocks of the foundation. He's a dear friend and a wonderful Vaishnav, very humble, and he's so blissful to be amongst all of you. Let us very enthusiastically welcome Soma Prabhu. And we have the 21st century incarnations of Gaur Nitai.
Your vision.
These,
Ferrari.
we have, I'll introduce them both at once since it's hard to tell the difference between them. Pankajangari Prabhu and Jananivas Prabhu, what can anyone say about these two brothers? In fact, the senior leaders of Mayapur promoted, they wrote to the GBC a few years ago, that after witnessing the qualities and the devotional love of Pankajangari and Jananivas Prabhus, they wrote a proposal that they should be the spiritual leaders for the entirety of the worldwide ISKCON movement. This is the opinion of those who watch them every day, even sannyasis. It was actually proposed by a sannyasi. They came to Mayapur Dham, I believe in 1971. 72. And accepted the deity service. And for the past 35 years, they have continued in the responsibilities of taking care of the deity worship in Srila Prabhupada's international headquarters and Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birthplace, the place from which he established the Sankirtan movement for the whole world. Their simplicity, humility, compassion has won the hearts of devotees all over the world. They may not travel widely and give lectures or manage big projects, but just by their qualities, by their love for God, and from their dedication, they have attracted perhaps more faith from the hearts of any devotees in the entire world. That is spiritual potency. And they're always very, very kind. In fact, Jananivas Prabhu agreed to be the head pujari for Radha Gopinath temple, and not a blade of grass moves without his sanction in our temple. And even though he's more humble than a blade of grass, still not a blade of grass will move without his sanction. That is called divine potency. And we are so grateful they have come for our Pune Yatra. To hear them speak and to see them dance together will mystify our hearts, and we hope we will never forget this experience with them. Let us very enthusiastically and gratefully welcome their graces Pankajangari Prabhu and Jananivas Prabhu.
Thank you.
Three of my very worshipable God sisters are sitting to our left. First we have Her Grace Rasalila Devi Prabhu. She's like a mother to me, always kind, always generous. It is said by Prabhupada, better one moon than millions of stars. Now I could speak for many hours about Rasalila's wonderful qualities, but I will encapsulate it in one particular special feature of her life. Better one moon than millions of stars. She has one son, and that son is His Grace Gauranga Kishore Prabhu. So we can understand what kind of an extraordinary mother she is. In fact, sometimes I introduce Gauranga Kishore Prabhu that he's naturally so advanced in his Krishna consciousness because he spent 9 months in Ras Leela. Very dear devotee of Srila Prabhupada, let us enthusiastically welcome her to our Pune Yatra. And we have Her Grace Sukavaha Devi Prabhu, who is an extraordinary personality. Her dedication, her sacrifice, her hard work over the years has just polished her into a shining diamond of a devotee. In fact, in the 1970s, she was in charge of the purchasing and requisitions at New Vrindavan. And anything any devotee wanted, they had to go through her to get it. And she was instructed by her authority to say no to everybody for everything they asked. It was almost like that. So one of the most selfless tasks that anyone could imagine, but yet everyone had such love and respect for her, because she could do it with so much respect and feeling. It was amazing. But sometimes she would secretly give me things. And in New York City, by her unbelievable perseverance and sacrifice, a wonderful project is coming up for Srila Prabhupada. I'm very grateful that you are here. She's like a very dearmost spiritual sister to me. Let us enthusiastically welcome her to our Pune Yatra. And we have Her Grace Narataki Devi Prabhu, who we all know. She is one of the residents of Bhaktivedanta Hospital, Radha Gopinath Temple, Radha Giridhari Temple, Radha Ras Bihari Temple, and everywhere else. Such a motherly soul. In her enthusiasm to show Prabhupada's compassion to the people of India, she's learned the Hindi language very nicely. That's what I'm told. I don't understand anything she says, but she is really like a goddess of devotion and so dear to all of us. Let us welcome her. And we have one of the dearmost disciples of His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Dhir Damodar Maharaj. Where is Maharaj? He's cutting vegetables in the kitchen. Sadhu means to cut. Prabhupada said like that. He comes from Nigeria, Africa. Very, very, very difficult place to preach. But Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj saw in this particular disciple such complete dedication, wonderful understanding of the philosophy, that Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj very strongly recommended that he be given sannyas to be one of the very leading preachers for the entire area of West Africa. Actions speak louder than words. Although he's a sannyasi, he's so humble and so simple that he's content just sitting on the floor cutting vegetables during our annual Yatra. I'm so grateful that he has come. Hopefully he hears our words today, and so that he can hear you in the kitchen with specially loud volume, please welcome Maharaj to our Yatra. From Iran, I'm sorry, but I can't say all these names. Aishan. Anyways, 3 devotees from Iran. Can you all stand up, please? Ah, they are there. This is not an easy place to practice Krishna consciousness. Sometimes we take the luxuries of living in places like America or Europe or India for granted. Because although there may be some ridicule, there may be some social pressures of people laughing at us or criticizing us, but can you imagine being a devotee underground in a fundamentalist government of Islam like Iran? The whole of America is fearful of Iran. The whole of Europe is fearful of Iran. And these devotees with shaved heads and shikas are not only chanting 16 rounds, following the 4 regular principles, worshiping the deities of Radha and Krishna, but they're preaching Krishna consciousness in Iran. And they're blissful. Just look at them. It's really Krishna's message to all of us to send these Iranian devotees. Let us welcome them very enthusiastically from our hearts to the Pune. And some of the special guests from the United States, Gauranga Kishore Prabhu. And we have also Gaurvani Prabhu. Can you please stand up? Gaurvani Prabhu is the son of 2 of my very, very, very dearmost godbrothers and godsisters. His father is Bhardraj Prabhu, who was one of the original, most heart-melting kirtan leaders of our society, and one of the greatest artists who painted for Prabhupada's books, who helped to establish the Fate Museum and the Dairams. Just such a humble, gentle soul who I just love so dearly. And his mother, Her Grace Rukmini Devi Prabhu. From the time she came to Krishna consciousness in San Francisco, I think in about 1968, she was just a very young girl of about 16. And when Prabhupada saw her, he practically cried. Just such a beautiful little girl, just who left her home and everything to surrender to Krishna. And she has been she has been a goddess of devotion. In all these years, despite many reversals, hardships, and difficulties in her life, she always remains humble, respectful to everyone, with such a loving heart, and steady in her Krishna consciousness, and very strict also, especially on her son. And Gauravani Prabhu, born and raised in our society, is one of the brightest lights in the second generation of Krishna consciousness. He loves kirtan, he loves Krishna, and has such creative, amazing ideas of how to spread Krishna consciousness. And most of all, he's just a wonderful person. And his good wife, Vrindarani Devi, is also born to one of my godbrothers, Anutama Prabhu, and a very exalted lady named Tulsi, Ram Tulsi Devi Prabhu. And she's one of the super excellent dancers of ISKCON, a wonderful devotee, and an extraordinary mother of 2 children, Revati Prem Devi and Kairava Chandrika Devi. Let us welcome this amazing family to our Pune Yatra. And we have from New York City, Chaitanya Nitai Prabhu, Brindalila Devi Prabhu. Brindalila is from Russia, and Chaitanya Nitai Prabhu, American, who was doing all kinds of business and work in Russia, and somehow or other they met in Krishna consciousness. And in the center in Manhattan and New York City, they are 2 of the most responsible, dedicated devotees. Wonderful, wonderful people. Extraordinary qualities. And their little son, Nitai Seva Prabhu. Can you all stand up, please? And also Brindalila Devi has brought her mother, and Chaitanya Nitai Prabhu has brought his brother, Patrick. Can all of you stand up if you are somewhere here? We're so grateful you came. Really, people like this, in my heart, confirms that there is a strong and bright future for the Hare Krishna movement. Let us welcome them to our Pune Yatra. And we have a disciple of His Holiness Indradyumna Swami Maharaj, one of his very dear daughters from Russia, who's living with Yashoda Dulal Prabhu in New York City. And if you meet her, you will know why we're so grateful that she is here. Shri Radhika, are you here somewhere? Can you stand up, please? Even if she's not here, for our purification, we will welcome her to Pune Yatra. And I'm going to go through this a little faster. From Ukraine, we have His Grace Achyutapriya Prabhu, who manages an entire country, and in my observation, it is without a doubt, if not the most, one of the most successful countries of preaching Krishna consciousness in the world. Very few people know about it because Ukraine is not a very prominent place on the political map these days. But they have about 50 centers in Ukraine, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of devotees. There's practically no politics, so much love and trust. They built a magnificent temple in Kiev, and practically the whole temple was built by just devotees collecting articles like cement and bricks and marble. Not that much donation of money, mostly donation of materials. Beautiful deities. One of my godbrothers spent some time in Ukraine, and he just couldn't believe it. Everything was working so efficiently, and the devotees were so well trained. And Achyutapriya Prabhu seems to be just so mild and peaceful that he's not doing anything, but yet he's doing everything. He's one of the most successful leaders of ISKCON. And he has brought with him 30 devotees from Ukraine. Can all of you please stand up? They're very humble. Please stand up. You can see over there. Let us you're translating, but even you're not standing up. Let us very enthusiastically welcome all of these wonderful devotees of Lord Chaitanya. And we have my very, very dear friend, Navina Nirada Prabhu, who was historically, he's one of the greatest, most successful book distributors in ISKCON's history. In fact, he was the international minister of book distribution for many years. He's just a really, really great soul. And he's so very dear to my heart. Now he's living with his family in Sri Mayapur Dham. Thank you for being here, Prabhu. Let us offer him a very grateful welcome to the Pune Yatra. And from Ireland, Brajendra Prabhu, Maharani Devi, and their 2 children. When Amritanam Mataji and Krishnanam Prabhu were stationed in Germany for some time, they preached to this family, and they became very, very dedicated devotees. And they plan to live perhaps 6 months a year with us in Bombay now. Can you stand up, please? Let us welcome them to the Pune Yatra. And we have Ezekiel and Sol from Spain, Nagin Rupa Prabhu from New Zealand, Nayana and Priyanka Patel from Houston, Ramchandra and Sita Priya Mataji from Atlanta, Mrugesh and Sundar and Subramaniam from Seattle, and so many others. Let us welcome everyone to the Pune Yatra. Much louder, please. It is really like seeing an ocean of Vaishnavas. This is the largest Pune Yatra in history. There is approximately 3,000 people assembled. And while we're on the subject, Krishna Chandra Prabhu, Radha Priya Mataji, Makunda Prabhu and Radha Devi, Krishna Kanaya and Anjali, Priyavrat Prabhu, the amazing efforts that they have invested every year, and especially this year, is unbelievable. Krishna Chandra Prabhu, Radha Priya Devi, they are so busy with their families, with their occupations, international corporations, managing. And then they have their counselors, and Gopal's Garden, and Bhaktivedanta Hospital. What to speak of the marriage board? They're performing all these activities and so many others that nobody even knows about, and yet staying up for weeks till late at night to individually and personally arrange all the accommodations for every single devotees, the prasadam, and everything that goes into this Pune Yatra. We have no idea of all that goes into this, setting up the pandal and everything else. All the rides and the arrangements and the transportation, they do it themselves. It takes weeks and weeks, late nights, and yet they very humbly and silently just remain in the background while we all enjoy like anything. And their enjoyment is simply to sacrifice everything to see our enjoyment. We owe this wonderful experience very much to them. Let us welcome them. Not welcome them, because we're in their house. They're welcoming all of us. Let us thank them by loudly chanting. And I'm seeing Gaur Bhagavan Prabhu from Iceland, Keshava Madhava Prabhu, yes, from Finland. Can you both stand up? Does anyone know where Iceland is? It's a land of ice. And Finland is a land of Finns. It's so wonderful to have you in our family. Let us welcome them. We request my godbrothers and godsisters, these dear disciples of Srila Prabhupada, to speak some words with a message to enlighten all of our hearts. We'll begin with Chandramauli Swami Maharaj. Maharaj looks so enthusiastic to speak.
Looks are deceptive. Huh? Om Agyantimirandasya Gyanadhyana Salakaya Chaksu Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Astaptitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadam Mayam Dadanti Swam Padantikam Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gauda Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. As always, but even more this year, I'm grateful for the opportunity to come and to be amongst all of you. It's a great privilege. Not only a privilege, but it's an experience that I always have, that it really enlivens me in Krishna consciousness when I see and experience the dedication of all of you. Such deep dedication and commitment to practicing Krishna consciousness is really quite astounding, and it also is very rare. And of course, we cannot go without noticing or acknowledging where that all comes from. It's from the purity, dedication, compassion, devotion, and we say complete self-sacrifice of His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj. I was just thinking yesterday, and Srila Prabhupada, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, he left the land of India and he went to America to spread Krishna consciousness on the order of his spiritual master to areas of the world where it had never been brought before. And Prabhupada was, with great difficulty and great personal sacrifice, was successful in awakening within the hearts and minds of people who are, what we say, very much unqualified to practice this process. And that was Prabhupada's dedication, his purity, and his self-sacrifice, amongst many other qualities. And Prabhupada brought that compassion and that success practically throughout the whole world. And I noticed, in one sense, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj has done the opposite, in a sense of the reverse way. He's left the land of America and come to India, where he's made hundreds, not hundreds, but thousands of devotees from India. So let's see, we can see that there's a parallel between that type of Prabhupada coming to America and Radhanath Maharaj leaving America and coming to India, which really was a fulfillment of one part of Srila Prabhupada's mission. Because Prabhupada not only wanted to make Westerners, but he also wanted to bring it back to India, where he could show his countrymen that here are people who have everything material and have given it up in order to become devotees of Lord Chaitanya, to chant, to dance, to take prasadam, and to dedicate their lives in service of the Lord. And this is a fulfillment of Srila Prabhupada's dream in this aspect, that Radhanath Maharaj is making so many people who are coming up, growing up in modern India, and very much, what we say, likely to be diverted away from their culture, to their religion, from their tradition, towards Western and ideas and materialism. And with great success, not only by his great intelligence, but also by his great compassion and dedication and self-sacrifice. He's making so many people from India Krishna conscious. Of course, he's doing that everywhere else too, but especially here. And this is a great tribute to spreading Krishna consciousness around the world. We can't assume that this is a small thing. It is actually a great, great tribute to Srila Prabhupada's mission. And so, personally, I like to thank Maharaj, not from a position of, but from a person who is actually appreciated to see what he has done in spreading Srila Prabhupada's mission around the world. So thank you very much, Maharaj. So let's also appreciate His Holiness Srila Radhanath Maharaj by chanting very loudly, Haribo. His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj ki jai.
With words like that, no wonder you were not enthusiastic. Thank you for your kindness and encouragement, Maharaj.
Just telling the truth.
I want to introduce another person. Is Bardraj Prabhu here from Ukraine? Is he anywhere? Does anyone know where he is? When he's within our vision, I would like to introduce him. He's a very special soul. And Mukunda Sharan Prabhu from South Africa. I'm just seeing people who are not on the list. He's one of the leading preachers, brahmacharis from Johannesburg? Cape Town. Let us welcome him to Radha. Soma Prabhu, please. Neither do I.
I feel like a duck amongst swans. But I'm very grateful that everyone's been so kind to me, given their association to me. And I want to hear so that I can become purified. I don't know what else to say. I'm just kind of overwhelmed by this opportunity to associate with everyone here. Like I say, I don't deserve it. You're all more advanced than I am. And I'm just grateful to be in your association. So thank you very much.